When you speak and you listen to the presidential spokespersons and even the president himself, the people around him, I think it's time that Nigerians began to listen to some of us that you might have considered a little insane earlier on. And I'll say why I say this. Back about 2018 or 2017, I posted something online. I said, I hope that President Buhari will not be the last president of Nigeria. And I pray that is the case. And then I went further. I said there would appear to be a destabilization plot against the Nigerian state, and that it is rooted in the Nigerian presidency. I have my reasons, and I'll substantiate this. If the president is truly interested in the security of Nigerians, I would say that I don't believe President Buhari is interested. If anything, there would appear to be deliberate steps that have been taken to weaken the capacity of the Nigerian security forces in dealing with the security menace that we have in Nigeria. I am in Abuja today. I cannot travel 50 kilometers outside the Abuja city limits without armed escort. And where is the nation's capital? Kaduna, which is more or less the capital for the military infrastructure. You can't travel there by road. You can't travel there by air. You can't travel there by rail. And in this country today, you would think that the only problem Nigeria has, Yele Sowore, Nnamdi Kanu, Igboho, these are the problems of Nigeria. Vast part of Nigeria have become ungovernable for the Nigerian state. People are paying taxes to bandits who are actually terrorists. But they are still talking as though but Bishop Kuka was fishing facts out of fiction. Commodore Olawumi was on here. He said they have given names of Boko Haram sponsors to this government since 2018 or thereabout. Up till today, not a single one of those persons have been named in public or have been prosecuted. Up till today. The UAE handed the list of Boko Haram sponsors to our Attorney General. What has he done with it? But he was very quick to start talking about the sponsors of Sunday Igboho. They were quick to begin to slam terrorism charges on Yele Sowore. Look, the reality is that this government is not interested in fighting banditry because it is complicit in the mess. It pains me that I'm being forced to quote a person like General Abacha. But I do recall him saying something to the effect that if insurgency goes beyond the 24-hour band, the government is involved. I don't think it is beyond the pale to ask this government to simply tell us what it is that it knows that is already in the rumor mills that the rest of Nigerians have not been clued up to. At least the terrorists were unambiguous in saying that the president knows their demands. It is only right that those of us who are paying the price in blood and tears on a daily basis should also be allowed to know what it is, what debt has been owed that is unpaid. The Yorubas have a proverb, and I think I'll close this part of the question with that. They say that "Eni to sun la nji, eni kan o ki n ji apiroro." You do not wake the person who is pretending to be asleep. The only thing this government has done successfully for 7 years is to pretend to be securing the lives and properties of Nigeria. If you are talking about Americans refusing to hand you Super Tucanos, have you considered the fact that as of 2017, the Air Force went and bombed the refugee camp? These are all the kind of atrocities that the Americans look at beyond their own narrow, selfish interests to justify withholding security systems from us, because we have an appalling human rights record, especially our armed forces. I can speak to that because of Lekki. I can. The Lekki toll gate is sufficient for me to speak to that. There is a panel of inquiry that has said that our armed forces killed innocent civilians with protesters holding flags. So do the Americans require more excuses to meet their own strategic goal? I can't blame the Americans. We are the ones who need to decide what it is that is in our own strategic, selfish interest. Ukraine, tiny Ukraine, is showing the world that you sometimes presume too much when you think you know it all and you have all the indices in your hand. The way we are, the president and the entire security forces And I cannot blame the security forces because they take their cue from the commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief is complicit in this mess.
But the finger has been pointed elsewhere. What that statement that was signed by Garba Shehu is saying is that if not from some meddlesome tittle-tattlers running off to the U.S. Congress to tell tales, by now Nigeria would have vanquished the jihadist terrorists. I'd like you to address that point specifically, that claim that they are not to blame, the onus is elsewhere.
You see, when a man is patently guilty, the first thing he does is seek to obfuscate the waters. And that is exactly what Shekere Garuba and his crew are doing. This is a very simple, straightforward thing. The taste of any food is when you put it in your mouth. We are the ones who live here. If you're saying that some people are saying there is an Islamization thing or there is a... It is real. We can see it in real time. It is real. It's there in front of everybody. As at last year, Pantami issue was out in the public space. It's in the public domain. You have a fundamentalist Islamist, a terrorist sympathizer sat in your government. The whole world is aware that you have been given the list of terrorism sponsors in Nigeria. You've done nothing about it. The whole world is watching this. They don't need to be told that there is an ongoing persecution of Christians in Nigeria. It's not something that somebody has to be told. It is systemic, it is open, it is brazen, and the reality is that just because Shekere Garuba is saying that it is not, because Lai Mohammed is saying that it is not, it doesn't change anything. They can repeat the lie as often as they care to repeat it. The reality is that the person who is showing you a mirror by which you might behold your crass nudity cannot be the person you blame for what is showing you. You either fess up and then make the necessary adjustments to go back to the path of rectitude. Not that all this, look, they are deliberately muddying the water so that we will be discussing persons instead of discussing the issues. If the Americans have drawn these conclusions, they have drawn these conclusions on the basis of empirical facts that all of us living in Nigeria can also see. Is Nigeria a peaceful place? No. What are the issues that is causing the general problem, all the wilders that we are having? Religion, exacerbated by a president who is completely insular and would not acknowledge the diversity of Nigeria. Ethnicity, because of a president who believes that everybody around him should either be speaking Fufude or they must speak Hausa. So you are dealing with a situation that is real. We can see it. It's not the president's smoke and mirror team can continue all these, their arguments until they turn blue in the face, but there is something that does not work for them. And that is one of the reasons that I think we should all begin to stop dealing with these, their distractions that they continually throw away. Time. Time. Nigeria is at an inflection point. There is meant to be an election. They're talking about census. And I just told you I'm at the nation's capital, and I can't travel 50 kilometers outside the city limits. And they're talking elections. They're talking census. Now they want us to be debating which one of the many angels that have succeeded. So I think in as much as we ought to be responding to people when they speak, we should also be careful not to allow ourselves to be unnecessarily distracted by professional smoke and mirror. This thing is just noise. They don't want to deal with the issues Father Azan Kuka has laid on the table. They are either going to say, yes, these things are true, or they are false. The man he's been very kind to them. He's been very kind. He's just simply stated the truth. And unfortunately, someone like Father Kuka will probably still think that one of their type, one of these people, can still save us. That is where the point of divergence begins. But all these ones that they are looking for scapegoats, they are lying to themselves.
Don't forget to subscribe to get notified. And as you show your support, now say God bless you too.
Sense on the bit.
Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Oh, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV.